The current year brings with it a sobering reality. As global complexities increasingly impact our daily lives, the concept of personal security has evolved from a theoretical exercise into an uncompromising duty. For those who study history, the signs are familiar. When supply chains tighten and local systems falter, the defensive tool you carry ceases to be an abstract comfort and immediately becomes the bedrock of your family's safety. Over the past decade, the market has been flooded with disposable, mass-produced polymer sidearms. Yet when confronting the hard realities of 2026, we must ask which of these platforms genuinely deserve your absolute trust. Today we are stepping away from frantic marketing campaigns and examining the 10 most reliable pistols available. These are time-tested instruments born from combat heritage, proven metallurgy, and mechanical longevity. As we progress, I will reveal a firearm standing firmly at the #1 spot that entirely redefines the modern defensive tool. It is a mechanical masterpiece that bridges the gap between old-world craftsmanship and surgical precision, solving the compromises that have plagued sidearms for 2 decades. We begin our evaluation with a platform that served as the indestructible backbone of the United States military for a generation. When the armed forces sought to replace the legendary 1911, where the mandate was clear: high-capacity NATO compatibility and unforgiving reliability under austere conditions. The solution was the Beretta 92 FS, known to many veterans simply as the M9. Rather than utilizing the ubiquitous Browning tilting barrel mechanism, the Italian engineers looked back to the World War II era Walther P38, adopting its falling locking block system. This is a crucial mechanical distinction, because the 4.9-inch barrel travels straight back in a linear motion during recoil, remaining perfectly parallel to the target. The mechanical accuracy is exceptional. Featuring a 1 in 10 twist rate, it effortlessly stabilizes a 124 grains 9mm projectile, sending it downrange at roughly 1,150 feet per second. The forged aluminum alloy frame brings the unloaded weight to a substantial 33.3 ounces. And that specific mass is a calculated advantage, acting as a shock absorber that transforms the 9mm recoil impulse into a gentle, manageable push. The traditional double-action, single-action trigger system is a deliberate design choice for high-stress environments. The initial, heavy 10-pound pull acts as a decisive safety measure when fine motor skills degrade, while subsequent shots benefit from a crisp 5-pound single-action brake. Above all, the signature open slide design ensures that spent brass is ejected cleanly without obstruction, cementing its legacy as an uncompromising defensive tool. Moving to our next platform, we must acknowledge the undeniable baseline of modern defensive carry. While purists often favor steel, the Glock 19 Generation 5 MOS commands respect through sheer utilitarian endurance. The engineering philosophy here is not about hand-fitted luxury, and it is about designing a system with generous internal clearances specifically engineered to push debris out of the way. When environmental conditions are at their worst and maintenance is impossible, those loose tolerances keep the action cycling. The Generation 5 refinement removed the polarizing finger grooves, returning to a straight front strap that accommodates a wider variety of grip disciplines, and introduced the Glock marksman barrel. This 4.02-inch barrel utilizes an enhanced polygonal rifling profile with a 1 in 9.84 right-hand twist. This specialized rifling creates a superior gas seal behind the bullet, drastically tightening group sizes. Weighing a remarkably light 23.63 ounces unloaded, it remains effortless to carry. The NDLC finish applied to the slide and barrel provides an incredibly hard, corrosion-resistant barrier, essential for longevity in humid or demanding environments. Mechanically, the heart of this system is the safe action trigger. Operating on a pre-tension striker, the trigger pull physically completes the cocking of the firing pin before release, delivering a highly predictable 5.8-pound brake every single time. It is the defensive tool of choice when local infrastructure collapses and spare parts become a currency of their own. Advancing further, we look to the brilliant Cold War engineering of Eastern Europe to solve the physics of recoil management. Most modern sidearms feature a slide that rides on the outside of the frame rails, which inherently raises the bore axis. The Czech engineers took a fundamentally different path with the CZ75 SP01 Tactical. By designing the slide to ride inside the frame rails, they drastically lowered the center line of the barrel and bringing it incredibly close to the web of the shooter's hand. This superior geometry means the recoil impulse from the 4.6-inch cold hammer forged barrel, which utilizes a 1 in 9.7 twist, travels straight back into the radius bone. Muzzle rise is virtually eliminated, allowing the operator to track the front sight uninterrupted through the entire recoil cycle. The SP101 variant enhances this proven lineage by adding a full-length dust cover and an accessory rail, bringing the unloaded weight to an authoritative 41.1 ounces. That is over 2.5 pounds of forged steel. That mass is not a burden. It is a tactical advantage that absorbs kinetic energy and provides immense stability. With a smooth double action and an incredibly short single action trigger, this hand-fitted combat pistol offers surgical precision, proving that intelligent metallurgy and superior geometry will always outlast fleeting industry trends. We now turn our attention to a modern engineering triumph that actively solves the historical compromise between deep concealment and duty-level firepower. For decades, carrying 17 rounds of 9mm required a substantial, heavy footprint. The Sig Sauer P365X Macro rewrote those mechanical parameters, dehousing that capacity in a flush-fit magazine within a grip module scarcely over 1 inch thick. However, the true brilliance of this design lies in its approach to recoil mitigation in a lightweight package. Empty, the firearm weighs a mere 22.8 ounces. Historically, a pistol of this size would be punishing and snappy to shoot. Sig Sauer addressed this by pairing a 3.1-inch barrel with a longer slide that features an integral expansion chamber cut directly into the top. This acts as a highly efficient, built-in compensator. Upon ignition, expanding gases are vented aggressively upward before the projectile even exits the slide assembly. This downward pressure physically counteracts the natural muzzle rise. Combined with a 1 in 10 twist rate that perfectly stabilizes the projectile, and a clean, on a rolling striker fired brake at roughly 5.5 pounds, the platform shoots remarkably flat. It stands as the premier defensive tool for those who require absolute discretion without sacrificing uncompromising capability. Stepping back into the realm of indestructible authority, we examine a platform born from the stringent requirements of the 1990s Special Operations Offensive Handgun Weapon System Program. The Heckler & Koch USP Tactical in 45 ACP. He is a masterclass in over-engineering. The mandate was to build a sidearm capable of digesting the punishing, high-pressure 45 super cartridge continuously. As a result, standard 45 ACP ball ammunition barely stresses the metallurgy of this frame. It tips the scales at 32.8 ounces empty, featuring a 5.09-inch barrel with proprietary polygonal rifling and a 1 in 15.98 twist rate. The mechanical genius of the USP lies in its patented dual captive recoil spring assembly. By utilizing a heavy primary spring alongside a smaller secondary buffer spring, the system acts as a mechanical shock absorber against the rearward impact of the slide. This translates to an up to 30% reduction in felt recoil, transforming the heavy 45 caliber impulse into a firm, manageable push while completely preventing frame battering. Furthermore, on a rubber O-ring fitted near the muzzle ensures a perfectly concentric barrel to slide lock up every single time the weapon returns to battery, guaranteeing consistent sub-2 MOA accuracy. It remains the definitive choice for the quiet professional. Before we proceed into the top 5, I want to pose a question to the dedicated technicians and experienced marksmen in our audience. As we have discussed the linear cycling of the Beretta's falling locking block and the proven simplicity of the traditional Browning tilting barrel design, from a purely mechanical standpoint, which operating mechanism commands your trust when absolute reliability is required? Please share your hard-earned insights in the comments. I read them all, and I highly value the perspective of men who truly understand their machinery. Entering the top 5, we address the common mechanical shortcomings of the modern striker fired Polymer frame pistol. Historically, the trigger pull on these platforms has been a point of severe compromise, often gritty and imprecise. The Walther Performance Duty Pistol, or PDP, demonstrates the German mastery of precision trigger dynamics. The factory Performance Duty trigger provides a meticulously clean break at 5.6 pounds with a remarkably short tactile reset. Yet, the most significant engineering achievement of the PDP is hidden within the chamber. Walther employs a stepped chamber design. Rather than remaining uniformly smooth, the chamber subtly narrows just before the rifling begins. Upon ignition, this forces the brass casing to expand and create a perfect, hermetic seal against the chamber walls, entirely preventing high-pressure gas from blowing back around the casing. This exceptional gas seal efficiently channels all available energy forward, resulting in a measurable muzzle velocity increase of 30 to 50 feet per second compared to identically sized competitors. The 4-inch barrel, utilizing a 1 in 10 twist rate, squeezes maximum kinetic energy from the 9mm cartridge. Weighing 24.4 ounces and featuring aggressively cut slide serrations designed for positive manipulation in the most adverse conditions, the PDP is a resilient, purpose-built defensive instrument. Yet we must now pay our respects to the longest-serving mechanical masterpiece in American military history. John Moses Browning introduced the Colt 1911 well over a century ago, and in 2026, specifically in a modern Series 70 configuration, it remains an uncompromising authority. There is a profound reason elite hostage rescue teams still carry this platform. It represents 39 ounces of forged American steel. The 5-inch barrel, with a 1 in 16 twist rate, perfectly dictates the flight path of a heavy 230 grains, 45 caliber slug traveling at 830 feet per second. The 1911 operates on a brilliantly timed short recoil principle utilizing a swinging link. Upon firing, the barrel and slide travel rearward, locked together momentarily until the link pivots the rear of the barrel downward, seamlessly disengaging the locking lugs. The true, undeniable advantage of this platform, however, is the trigger mechanism. Because the single action only trigger moves directly rearward on a straight track, rather than pivoting on a pin, it yields a glass-like break between 3.5 to 4 pounds that no striker-fired system can ever duplicate. When a surgical, high-stakes shot is required at 25 yards, the heavy and recoil-absorbing steel frame and that immaculate trigger make the 1911 the undisputed king of precision engagement. It demands proper lubrication and a disciplined operator, but its heritage of reliability is absolute. Our focus now shifts to highly specialized ballistics designed to counter the evolving realities of personal defense. In an era where soft body armor is increasingly utilized by organized threats, modern traditional hollow point ammunition often flattens out against Kevlar layers. The FN57 was meticulously engineered to solve this specific defensive hurdle, originally developed as a companion sidearm to the P90 personal defense weapon. Mechanically, it bypasses the traditional lock breech, operating instead on a delayed blowback system. It relies on the immense pressure of the bottlenecked 5.7 by 28mm cartridge to safely delay the slide opening until chamber pressures have adequately dropped. The MK3 variant is remarkably efficient, weighing just 25.4 ounces while loaded with 20 rounds. The 4.8-inch cold hammer forged barrel utilizes a 1 in 9 twist rate to stabilize a lightweight 40 grains projectile, launching it at an astonishing 2,000 feet per second. This extraordinary velocity enables the appropriate ammunition types to reliably defeat Level 3A, soft armor. Because the projectile is light and the velocity so immense, the trajectory is perfectly flat, allowing for precise engagement at 100 yards while producing a recoil impulse more akin to a .22 Magnum than a centerfire combat pistol. It is a highly specialized tool, while providing a ballistic advantage that cannot be ignored as modern threats evolve. Securing the number 2 position is the absolute pinnacle of duty-grade modernization, the Staccato P. If the traditional 1911 is a revered classic, the Staccato P represents the evolution of that lineage into a modern, high-performance platform, universally recognized as the 2011. The engineering goal was to preserve the flawless single-action trigger and precise barrel lockup of Browning's design, while mating it to a modular, double-stack architecture. By utilizing a rugged steel frame paired with a polymer grip module, this platform provides 20 rounds of 9mm capacity without sacrificing the legendary straight pull trigger mechanism, which breaks perfectly at 4 pounds. The Staccato P incorporates a 4.4-inch heavy bull barrel with a 1 in 16 twist rate. This bull barrel design eliminates the traditional barrel bushing entirely, deliberately placing critical, recoil-mitigating weight directly at the muzzle end of the gun. Combined with a robust unloaded weight of 33 ounces and a tool-less Dawson precision guide rod system, the muzzle remains incredibly stable during rapid fire. And this platform has earned the trust of elite law enforcement agencies nationwide, from the U.S. Marshals to the Texas Rangers, because it fundamentally increases hit probability under extreme stress. It demands a premium investment, reflecting the hand-fitted slide to frame tolerances and match-grade components. But when personal survival is the metric, it delivers an uncompromising advantage. Finally, we arrive at the #1 spot. The platform I promised would redefine your expectations for a modern defensive sidearm, the SIG Sauer P226X. 5 Legion is the ultimate solution to the long-standing compromise between the soulless, lightweight polymer tools of today and the heavy precision steel of the past. It is a true metallurgical marvel. The original P226 earned its uncompromising reputation over decades of rigorous maritime service with the Navy SEALs. However, SIG Sauer has elevated this legendary combat platform by engineering an alloy grip module heavily infused with tungsten powder. This revolutionary process brings the overall weight to a massive 43.5 ounces, providing the exceptional recoil-absorbing mass of solid steel, combined with the modularity and manufacturing precision of modern materials. It is outfitted with a 4.4-inch heavy bull barrel featuring a 1 in 10 twist, ensuring surgical precision. So the defining characteristic is the trigger system. SIG Sauer discarded the traditional double-action mechanism entirely, installing a fully adjustable, flat-face, single-action-only trigger shoe that breaks with a breathtakingly crisp 2.5 pounds of pressure. To maximize control over the already diminished 9mm recoil, a factory gas pedal is integrated directly into the takedown lever, allowing the operator's support thumb to aggressively drive the muzzle down during rapid engagement. Delivered optic-ready with suppressor height sights, it seamlessly blends the authoritative bank vault feel of a heritage firearm with the rapid, efficient performance of a 2026 precision instrument. The SIG P226 XFive Legion stands as the definitive, time-tested mechanical masterpiece. Firearms are fundamentally mechanical tools. However, they also represent a vital piece of our heritage, a testament to American freedom, and remain a grim necessity for protecting our families in uncertain times. Every platform we have examined today possesses a distinct lineage and a specific engineering philosophy intended to ensure your survival when the situation demands it. I invite the veterans and dedicated marksmen watching to reflect on your own history. What was the first sidearm you ever qualified with? Or the reliable companion you carried during your service? Please share your experiences in the comments below. The collective history of this community is profound, and your stories command respect. Maintain your discipline, honor your heritage, and trust your training. This is Gun Sage signing off. Would you like me to adjust the pacing